Basically, that's what you said.
You said,
why are you playing like this?
You're calling yourself a donkey. I didn't call you a donkey.
You're telling me you don't know, you're telling the people on the rail what I'm doing, this and that.
Then let's just all be friends.
Gus, if I'm gonna try to get the 10,000 now, I'm already in, so.
All right.
I'm gonna call you. I got 2 8s.
2 8. So I have a good hand, a really good hand
Did you
against
see
2
it?
8s.
I don't think you get. You looked in the dark, right?
What?
180, 180.
180. I got the Queen 10.
That's the hand you broke me with in the World Poker Tour when I had Ace King.
You know, and I'm not even going to say that Gus Hansen's all in. Just assuming that every hand from here on out.
At this point, it looks like he's going to continue his strategy until something changes, certainly until Phil Ivey.
Who's big favorite? Phil, Gus or me?
Well, right now it's Gus after hitting the 10.
Wow.
Not to mention the straight draw.
He's got the bigger pair and the bigger straight draw.
9-10 jack. 7 on the turn. No, it's a 5.
Freddie Deeb's going to need a queen or a 7, or he'll be eliminated.
The river, a 4 of hearts.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now you can say something, right?
Yeah, Phil Ivey has just advanced to the Super 16
baby, don't be
based on his
mad.
third place.
Which eliminates Jennifer Harmon from the competition. She will not be playing in the Super 16.
You're welcome, Phil.
We have actually clarified a lot here, Chris.
Okay, good luck, man. That's one.
We are down to 2 spots available. Gus has to win to advance, or it'll be Joe Hashem in the final 16.
Well, right now it looks like Gus Hansen. He has got the upper hand. Action continues after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, down to 3-handed play in Elimination Match 20. Gus Hansen, if you're just joining us, has basically moved all in every hand and now has a dominant chip lead over Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Ivey. Ivey just qualified for the Super 16 once Freddie Deeb was eliminated. Esfandiari with Big Slick pushing all in, and Gus Hansen actually staring at an ace.
Okay.
Is going to make the call.
Okay.
You have an ace?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, that was just a poker call that Hansen made with Esfandiari all in. Gus isn't taking advantage of any situation. He's just feeling like his ace high is probably good. He runs into a big hand with us. Esfandiari's ace king.
I need it.
The flop, King 7 tray. Esfandiari next on top
I really
pair.
want the
Oh,
four
great shape. Hansen's going to need a lot of help here.
All right.
Doesn't find it on the turn. In fact, Hansen's
Right?
drawing dead, and he's lost a hand.
I did not win every pod.
We're
190.
confused.
I know.
What's going on? Chip's going away from Gus Hansen.
For the first time in the entire match, he did have a split pot, but this is the first time Hansen's actually lost a pot. Unreal. Joe Hashem, of course, if Gus Hansen doesn't win, then Hashem will advance to the Super 16.
That was a great hand for Hashem. Can't be thrilled with this, looking at this huge mountain of chips that Hansen has, but he's got 2 good players fighting for him. Sitting back, hoping for the best, but kind of helpless.
He's gonna fold. Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Oh, a fold!
No.
And Phil Ivey's moving all in.
Did you just say fold?
I did. It was a struggle. Ivey picks up the chips.
That was the
He
first
folded.
10.
He just folded. Did you guys see that?
Joe Hashem rooting for Phil Ivey and Antonio Esfandiari. Of course, Ivey, a 5-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. Poker is definitely his profession by choice, but his passion, well, he's into something else that's on the green turf.
I love to play golf. I mean, I just started playing maybe a year and a half ago, and I really enjoy it. I thought it was, when I first started, I thought it was the dumbest game in the world, but now I'm really starting to get into it. So whenever I'm not playing poker, I like to play golf. I'm bad right now, but, you know, I'm learning, and hopefully, you know, I get better. That's all I'm going to say about the golf. Trying to ruin my action, man.
That was good up and down from the bunker.
I'll tell you what, I don't think Phil's happy that people got to see that on national TV.
No,
I mean,
that's going to ruin it.
as they say, he ought to be laying it down for the cameras.
Right, exactly. Chunk one out of the bunker.
Right.
Ivey moving all in.
What are we looking at, 180?
Well, we know Hansen's going to call here. It's not going to be laying down any
That was
ace-8s.
enough.
Yep. I think he just looked at one card there and called.
Oh, it was a king. It was an ace.
It's It's got Phil dominated. Phil has accomplished his goal tonight, though.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Joe Hashem, he really hasn't.
Yes.
Once again,
he hasn't accomplished Joe's goal.
Right. Hashem needs either Ivy or Esfandiari to win this table, not that man, Gus Hansen.
Good luck, boys.
The flop, 9-4 Jack.
Great flop for Hansen.
The turn card, a 5.
Okay, Ivy can win with a deuce or a 3. There it is.
3 hits on the river. Wow. A double up by Phil Ivy and Gus Hansen. Losing more chips, Howard?
Joe Hashem has won the last 2 hands. He's not at the table.
But really, he is playing, essentially.
He is essentially playing. He has a bigger interest in what's going on at this table than either Ivy or Esfandiari.
Remarkable. Well, Gus Hansen, despite that loss, still more than $1 million in chips. We're back after this. And here's what's going on inside the poker room. Gus Hansen, more than $1.1 million in chips, followed by Phil Ivy and Antonio Esfandiari. Both Ivy and Esfandiari are moving on to the Super 16. Hansen will do the same if he wins. If not, Joe Hashem will claim that final spot. Hansen first to act with the 10-5 suited. And another fold out of Hansen. Ivy all in. And Esfandiari with an ace as well. A better one at that.
Ivy needs to stop picking up ace deuce. Looks like he's going to get called here, and he will be dominated. Really don't know what Antonio's thinking about. This is blind versus blind.
There goes the magician. Well, Ivy was dominated on the last hand against Gus Hansen and hit a card on the river.
He'll need some help here. You can see there's a pretty good chance of a tie. About 28% chance of a tie, but only a 26% chance that Ivy will win this pot.
And remember, it's Esfandiari that's all in, not Ivy. An ace hits on the flop.
You still wish you moved in, Gus?
Esfandiari still with the best hand. The turn, a 6. So
Ivy's
it's down to a deuce for Phil Ivy.
Or a 5 or a 6 for a tie.
An 8 comes on the river, so the magician doubles up.
60.
And although both these players have punched their tickets to the Super 16, they both want those points. Remember, for every point you take into the Super 16, 20,000 in chips.
They both want those points, and they wouldn't mind that first place money either.
Which is 10 grand. Speaking of 10,000, that's how many chips Phil Ivy has left at this point. Antonio Esfandiari in second place. Gus Hansen right now in the lead, where he's been the entire match.
I think Phil's thinking about whether he can get it back on the golf course here before it gets dark.
Well, the blinds at 15 and 30,000. King 9 offsuit for Ivy.
He doesn't look very excited, does he?
He threw his 2 chips in.
Yeah. He's almost hoping he goes broke here. He's got so few chips, he'd have to double up about 8 times in a row just to get back in the match.
Well, Esfandiari has called. Hansen with the Jack 4 suited.
You know, and actually, this last hand wasn't that bad for Joe Hashem. I mean, the fact that Ivy and Esfandiari played a big pot against each other, now there's one player that has some chips that can stand up to Hansen.
Right. Well, Hansen is checked, and the flop goes 8-10-5. Pair of hearts on the board. Checked by Esfandiari, a check by Hansen. Ivy checks as well. 3 hits on the turn.
Ivy still has the best hand.
All 3 players.
Oh, there's the jack.
Yep.
Check.
Gus Hansen's going to win this pot and eliminate Phil Ivy.
That's all right.
Check? Yeah.
Everybody checks down, shows him, and Phil Ivy's going to walk on over to the first hole.
Job well done for Phil Ivy. He advances to the Super 16. Has to be pretty pleased with his result.
Pretty amazing that a guy is going to be that pleased with his results after he barely played the first half of this match. But that's exactly what he needed to do.
That's what he had to do.
Understanding the format, so important in Poker Superstars 3. So Gus Hansen, still your leader, followed by Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Ivey. We'll see you in the playoffs. Actually, we'll see you with Mary Strong.
Thanks, Chris. Phil, you made